Hi, this is Crystal. Welcome to Reseller Shop Talk. This is an hour-long show that is perfect for listening to while you are working on your resale business, whether you're selling on eBay, getting shipments ready for Amazon, or researching, or whatever it is that you might be doing. This is a great show to listen to while you work, along with many, many other shows. And usually I get started with water cooler gossip, and that's where I talk about other resellers that make YouTube videos. And today I wanted to talk about, let's see, the States, Nicole State from State's Place podcast. Hold on. I've been listening to their podcast. They just started a podcast. I think they're up on like 5 or 6 podcasts now. Nicole State had been a reseller making YouTube videos, and she was on Reseller Stew. So if you want to catch her on Reseller Stew, I think there's one episode with her on there as one of the panel members. And then something happened and she took down all of her videos, and then her husband got laid off from his job at Intel. He had a really great job, and when he got laid off, they decided rather than him going and looking for another job that he would pitch in to help out with the eBay business. She sells almost predominantly on eBay, and they are doing very well, and so I really like to listen to their podcast, and I really learned quite a bit from her. And she does almost exclusively clothing. I know she does other things too, but it seems like the vast majority of what she sells is clothing, and she's doing very well with it. So that's kind of cool. And before she became a full-time reseller, she had worked in the clothing industry field, and not only in new clothing, but also like department stores. I think she worked at a department store, but I can't remember which department store. Then she said that at some point for about 8 years, she managed a used clothing store for children's clothing and children's items. So she just has a lot of knowledge about clothing in general and the used stuff business in general before she did this full time. And I think that is one of the reasons why she's so successful, because she's already familiar with the market. And I think that is really the key to this business, and why a lot of resellers say that the one most important aspect of this business is picking stuff to sell. Like, what is it that you're picking to sell? And Nicole likes to pick brands of clothing that are highly sought after. She's not necessarily stuck on, well, if I can't flip it for $35 or more, I don't want to even put it in my store. She's happy to sell things for $10, $15, maybe even a little less if she has to. I mean, certainly if you are finding a lot of items on a regular basis and know what these items are that are things that sell for $30 or more, then fine, hold out for those, because you're going to find some around the bend. I think for a lot of us, we don't find a lot of that stuff, even the items that you can flip for $35. I mean, I suppose, I don't know, I want to do an experiment for myself next time I go sourcing. And that is that I don't buy anything that I can't confidently list for $20 or more. So and it would be okay to pay $7 or something like that at the most for these items. But I just want to start identifying things that sell for $20 or more, rather than a lot of the $12 to $15 items that I seem to gravitate toward. Or I try to get like closer to a $20 selling price for my items, but then I think about, I'm like, yeah, if I put it at 20, it's gonna sit there forever, but at $14.99, it'll definitely sell. Like, somebody will buy this for $14.99, so I end up with a lot of stuff in that price range, which is fine because it adds up when it sells. That's the other thing, is you need to pick stuff that is selling on a regular basis, or you need to go with the scavenger life method or strategy, which is, yes, you want stuff that people want, but it might be things that take a while to connect with the right person that really wants that item. And so with clothing, typically you want to stick with brand names. I would imagine that if you are already selling clothing on eBay, it's pretty important to stick with brand names. However, I frankly am doing somewhat well with items that aren't necessarily a brand name that people are searching for. And I do find a lot of things based on style, or usually based on style, but fabric content or some sort of a print. Like, people love ombre, they love silk. And they like plus sizes, so I'm in the plus size section. I pull out this beautiful silk ombre shirt in size 2X in beautiful condition, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting this. And I've got several watchers on it, and it'll probably go for $20. I don't remember what I listed it for, and I don't even think it was like Lane Bryant or any kind of recognizable. I don't remember what was up with that one, but I'm pretty sure that one's gonna sell. It just, again, it's not like super hot brand, and it could take 2 or 3 months to sell. Now, sometimes I get these clothes up that really aren't name brands, and just for whatever reason, people want them, they buy them, and they're sold within a week or two. So that happens too, but we wish it would happen with more things. And that's one of the things that Nicole is really good at, is identifying and finding a lot of clothing items that do sell relatively quickly. And I don't know what her turnaround is, or her cutoff date for saying, you know what, this hasn't sold in 4 months or 6 months, I'm going to put it on bid or mark it down super duper low to get it out of the store. So I did try that with a few of my items, and one of my items is this actually really cute Nike, like, exercise top thing that for girls, and not girls but women, and I put it down at like $2.99 for what do you call it, bid on auction. Still nothing. Like, I just maybe in January, I don't know. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and put it back up at like $10.99 with free shipping, and if somebody wants it, and they're gonna buy it next January or something, or who knows. I mean, because that's just the way lately I've been having a lot of things. Some of my older items have been selling through all of a sudden. Like, I would say that 80% on any given day, let's just say 60 to 80% of my items are stuff that has been listed for 4 or 5, 6 months or even longer. So that's kind of exciting. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was worth it to just have those sitting in my store. So that's the scavenger live, list it and forget it. You just put it up there, and eventually everything sells. So I'm sort of, I guess, what this whole water cooler gossip section is about is the two strategies that people seem to have. And I think scavenger life actually has a really good strategy for the person that's just starting out. Like, if you've gone through the trouble of listing something, and especially if you do have the space, on small stuff, just let it sit for a year or two or even 3, because although you do have to consider how much you're paying. Now I have a store and I get 1,000 listings for $50 a month basically, and plus if you have a store you get free shipping supplies every 3 months. So if you don't have a store, you might want to look into that. So yeah, but I like Scavenger Life because yes, they too are looking for items that sell. I mean, certainly they want items that are going to sell fast as well, but they have just determined that, well, you went through the trouble of listing it and you might as well let it sit there, especially when they're finding things that if somebody really wants it, it's things that people might pay $30, $40, $60, $80, $100 for. And they're picking them up for $1 or 50 cents at a garage sale or wherever they picked it up. So why not? All they have to do is just have it. And then when somebody gives them that really high profit margin price, then chip it out. I don't see anything wrong with the list it and forget it concept. I like it. I have the space. I have an office, and I would imagine that after some time it will probably get to the point where I'm overflowing. But for me, really the big draw to sort of really zeroing in on things that sell fast is that I need the money right now. Like I really need to increase my total sales. Like I am floating around 17 to 1900, let's just say $1,800 a month in total sales. And not too long ago I was probably at, well, before I moved into my office, I was floating around $700-800 a month. And I just wanted to move into an office. Well, I had a good opportunity and I wanted to be able to hire people. Like I had like a vision in the end, I had a big end goal vision kind of thing. And I think I've probably talked about this before. I just was sick of just stuff everywhere all over the house. And then I'd have stuff in the bedroom, I had stuff in the living room, stuff in the kitchen, stuff in the office, stuff in the garage, stuff in the car. Like it's just everywhere, all over the house. And then every time something sold, it's like if it needed a box, I'd have to go out to the garage because that's where I stored my boxes. I just felt like everything was just all over the place. It was just too much overlap for me. Now, certainly, if I didn't have the good opportunity to get this office that I'm in now, I would still be working at home. But I would live with that, but I did get a really good deal. And that deal has changed. So the people next door to me want to take my space. And they already have like 3 or 4 spaces. And so now they want to take this last space in our building. And I'm on a month-to-month and I'm getting a good deal. And so I'm going to be moving to another office, which is fine, but it was a bomb that was just dropped on me. We've talked about it already, my boss and I, because somebody else was interested in this space and another space. And did I say my boss? My landlord, which is actually my ex, my son's dad. So I'm like, that's fine. I'll just move upstairs because I don't really sell anything like big and heavy. And even if it is, I mean, I can carry whatever it is that's kind of big and heavy. If I can't carry it upstairs, I'm just not going to get it. I don't like dealing with things that I can't just move myself. I just don't. And in fact, I have a few things right now, like some furniture pieces that it just stresses me out. I know I like the whole idea of selling furniture, but it just, I don't want to deal with it. Okay, so anyways, I don't have the space. So, that is Water Cooler Gossip, Scavenger Life versus Nicole State. Highly recommend that if you have not listened to either of their podcasts, that you definitely add them to your list of people to listen to. And I would imagine that if you're listening to mine, you probably already come across Scavenger Life or Nicole, because they're definitely more popular than me. Okay, and let's see. My third base steal. Okay, I picked up, I don't know, it's kind of big. I was really excited. My son and I were at Savers the other day picking up t-shirts for my other son who just turned 21, and I wanted to buy him 21 t-shirts. And I was like 6 t-shirts shy. I'm like, Spencer, we gotta go shopping for some more shirts. I need you to help me pick some out. So we're down there, and I'm like, but while we're there, we're gonna check the stacks and see if there's anything good. And there was like a bunch of good stuff. And the best thing I found, well, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's the best thing because actually I'm ultimately going to keep it. I was going to sell it, but mine broke. So I'm like, oh, now I got to keep that new one. Thank God, actually. So for like $8, I got one of those Home Medic massage cushions that, oh, those shiatsu. Oh my gosh, like I always have like back pain, and like I always need that. Like, not every day, I don't use them every day, but sometimes just something gets sore and you just need to use that thing. And I had one, and I went to go use it right after I bought this new one, and it just stopped working. Like, it was working fine, and then it just stopped. I'm like, that's like my shower. It was working fine, and then 5 minutes later, I had the shower on, I turned it off, I went back 5 minutes later, turned the shower on, nothing. Like, what the hell? This is my life. Stuff keeps breaking. Have I mentioned that? I gotta stop talking about this. Everything in my life keeps breaking. That's it. I'm not talking about all the broken stuff anymore. No. Because I'm just attracting more broken things. But the good news is that I can replace that one with this new one I got that I was going to sell for like $40. And the thing is nice. It's like brand new. Like, it doesn't look like it's ever even been used. The only thing about this new one that I got, it doesn't have like all the crazy settings, which makes it probably more valuable. Like, it doesn't have heat, it doesn't have, I don't know, there's a couple other settings that these things could possibly have. And this one is like the super basic model. But if you've ever had these before, as long as, well, like for me, I'm happy with just the basic setting. Like, so this is perfect for me. So now I'm gonna sell just the charger for my old massage cushion. And the chargers, like, they used to go for more. At least I never looked, but I heard through the grapevine, through other resellers, that they can sell for a relatively high price, and like $25-$30 just for like the charger. And maybe they can for certain models, so I don't know. I need to look a little deeper, but it looks like the chargers are going for maybe 15 or 20. So at least I can get my money back for the charger for the massager that I'm going to ultimately keep. But that would have been, that was before I had this on my list. And then I'm like, well, should I talk about how my other massager broke? But I was totally just going to sell it, and then my other massager broke. So, but that would have been like, it's like a $40 fine and guaranteed to sell. I have sold 5 or 6 of these over the last 3 years, and they always sell. And I always make $30 or more on them. And they're a little tricky to ship because they're kind of awkward. They're kind of big, but it's no big deal for me. I mean, I don't mind spending them. I mean, it's like, yes, easy money. So, yeah, third base steel massager. So look for those Home Medics massage cushions. If you don't know what that is, look it up on eBay. Home Medics massage cushion. It's just this too big and bulky for me to hold up. All right, finders keepers. So that could have been a finders keepers item. So finders keepers is the segment where I talk about the things that when I buy it, I say to myself, well, if it doesn't sell, I will keep it. And this is one of them. And the only reason I want to keep it is because I have a granddaughter and I want to have a tea party. So I was thinking I might, whatever, I buy these all the time. These are those little double teapots. Well, not all the time. I think I've sold 2 of them, you know. And this is like the 3rd one I got. I don't actually see them very often. And yeah, it's one of those kind where you got the cup, and then the hot water goes in there. Let's see. And this is a name brand, Gans, but I guess it's not like that. And it's so cute. It's got little butterflies on it. So I got that hoping that it might be something good to sell, but they didn't really look that good when I listed it, because I bought it without looking it up. And then, of course, when I looked it up, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look that great, but, you know, whatever. I'll get my money back, make a few bucks. Let's move it. And it looks like it's not going to sell. I've had it listed for a year now. And the good news, though, is that my granddaughter is coming home from Virginia Beach. She's been living in Virginia Beach with her parents, and she and her mother are coming to move in and live with me, which is kind of scary because I got a lot of work to do the next 2 weeks. All of a sudden. So not only do I have to move my office upstairs, like we're shooting for the end of this month, which is, I don't know, in the next 2 weeks, but my daughter-in-law wants to move in with me, and I need to get new carpeting in the room that she's moving into. I'm going to let her have the master bedroom, and then she'll have that with the baby. It needs new carpeting because her husband, my son, insisted on bringing a dog into the house after he turned 18. And my other son really wanted the dog, and it was a puppy, and it got into my room. It was fine if it wasn't on carpeting, but if it was on carpeting, it wanted to pee all over the carpeting constantly. I could not get the thing to be potty trained. I didn't want to potty train it. My son just sort of abandoned the dog and just left it for me to worry about, and I'm like, no. And he's like, just leave it in the cage. I'm like, no, I'm not going to leave it in a cage for 20 hours while you're out going to work and running around with your friends and going to the pool and playing paint gun and doing whatever it is that you're doing while your dog is just sitting in a cage in the other room, and I'm here. Like, I am not. I was about to take it to the pound, but my younger son begged his dad to take the dog, so his dad now has that dog. And yeah, I like the dog a lot, but I cannot deal with a dog. I can't deal with it. I don't have money for a vet. It's just, I don't want to spend money on a vet. I don't want to have to like vacuum hair. I don't want to have to pick up shit. I don't want to have to, I just don't want that. Like, I'm about to stop being a mother. Like, I'm almost at the point where I don't have to worry about some other thing, another living thing, and I can just be free. The last thing I want to do is get a dog, like, and like have another thing to worry about. Like, well, if I go out of town this weekend, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the dog, or I have to go home because I got to make sure the dog's taken care of. Like, I don't want to have to go home. I've been having to go home for 20 years. So if you love dogs and pets, that's great. I mean, they're adorable, they're cute, I love them too. I just don't want one, so I hope you don't think I'm like this evil anti-dog person, which some people do. They've accused me of being evil anti-animal because I don't want one. You know, and the only time that they seem to understand or respect my decision is when I say, look, if I had to take it to the vet, I could not afford to pay for the vet. So the thing would just die. And actually, I had an animal die because I couldn't take it to the vet, basically. Well, she might have died anyways, but we had a cat for a short time that I got at a rescue. And I don't know, she just stopped eating and drinking water, like, all of a sudden, and I couldn't take her to the vet. I had absolutely no money. And I thought, well, maybe she'll get better in a couple days, just like humans. We get sick, we get better, life goes on. But she started getting sicker and sicker, and I'm like, okay, I got like 1 more day, I'm going to get paid, and I can take her to the vet. Well, the next day she looked like she was about to die. And I took her to the vet, and the vet was like, she has kidney failure, and it'll cost you like thousands of dollars to fix her, and it'll cost you like $1,000 a month, and you'll have to do all of this stuff every day. And even the vet was even like, I mean, she was like, this is a good case for putting the animal down. I'm like, there's just no way, I can't do it. Like, I can't. I mean, I had to pay $60 or something like that to put the vet down, or put the vet down, put the cat down, you know, and I mean, that was stressful enough. You know what I mean? Like, I can't afford it. I cannot. It's not going to happen. So, I think animals are luxuries, and that is a luxury that I don't want. Like, if I'm going to have a luxury, I want it to be a massage, like a real massage chair, like those kind at Costco. That's what I want. But anyways, so how did I get on the top? Oh yeah, because I need to replace the carpeting in that bedroom. And excuse me. Yeah, so I haven't even been using that room. Like, after my son moved out, I moved into his room basically. And I'm just like, well, eventually I'll get the new car. I didn't want to go in there. And my girlfriend's like, why don't you clean it? I'm like, no, I don't want to spend all day long rent. I don't want to spend the money. I don't want to do it myself. And it stinks after, even if you clean. Oh my God, I just knowing that there's still pee in there, it's disgusting. Like, and the carpet was already old, and it would still look like crap. Just like, I'm like, I'll just wait. I will just move out of the bedroom until I can get new carpeting. So now my daughter-in-law is moving in with the baby, and I absolutely unequivocally have to get new carpeting. So I just ordered some carpeting from Home Depot, and I got those squares, and they come in like, I think it's 24 inch by 24 inch squares, and then they're real easy to lay down. Apparently, like, anybody can do it. You don't have to have a special machine. I think just maybe like a cutter, and that's it. It's just like a peel and stick carpet. And then if something happens to, you know, 2 or 3 of the carpet tiles, then you can just pull those up and replace them. And I'm like, that is my kind of carpet, because I can't stand carpeting, because it's just, I can't stand this stuff. I can't believe that for decades we've been living with this terrible wall-to-wall carpeting, and oh my gosh, I've always hated carpeting ever since I was a small child. And anyways, so, but I mean, I don't mind carpeting, like when it's nice and fresh, fine, but it gets so disgusting. It's like wearing the same clothes every day, and just like every once in a while, like running like a hand vac over it, and then spot washing it or whatever, washing it while it's on. Like, it doesn't, you just can't get it clean. Like, I can't stand the stuck on the floor wall to wall. And I can't believe that, oh my gosh, that people, I've lived with, I have some right now. Like, it's like the same disgusting carpet that's been there for 20 years, and you can't clean it. Like, it's, I'm not like a clean freak, but I hate carpeting. I just hate it. So I feel like, at least with these carpet tiles, you know, the areas that get worn out, that get stains, can easily be replaced. And it's just so much less stress. And like those areas like under the bed that never get anywhere, it's like, fine, you can just vacuum over that every now and then. But why spend a bunch of money? Like, just, you know what I mean? Like, anyways, I am using up a lot of time talking about carpeting. So I'm kind of excited about finally getting my room like usable again. And I got to get the shower fixed, and there needs to be new blinds put in, because whoever put blinds in this house before I moved in, it's like they must have gotten like the $5 blind or the dollar store blinds. I mean, they're just, and even my ex, like, he put in a new blinds in my kids' rooms when we first moved in, which was very nice. I'm not complaining. I'm really grateful that he went through the effort to buy these things and bring them over, although he only installed one of them. And it was like halfway falling off from the very get-go. And that one sort of fell apart, and I just took that one off. And then the other one I had to have my brother put on, and it was fine for a while, and I could tell it was like just one of those super duper cheap mini blind units. Like, you just knew it was like, just, I'm like, this thing, what, why? Like, I mean, for $10 extra, you can get one that'll last like a lifetime, you know? Like, why get these cheap, crappy things? And I don't know what happened, but there was one of the rungs was a little out of whack, and I went to go fix it, and the thing just like freaking fell apart. Like, I just barely touched it, and it's like all half hanging on. I'm like, serious? Like, I need to get a new blind in here, but I need, so the blinds that are in my master bedroom are like that as well. And but those were already in the house when we moved in. And so instead of buying new ones, I just put like curtains up so you can't really see them, but they're like sort of like stuck to the wall curtains. They're not even like real curtains. And I'm like, someday I'll get to this. Well, I never did. I don't know. I moved into this new house, and I guess I just stopped having people over. Like, I'm like, I stopped caring about stuff. I'm like, I'm tired of moving and having to like redo everything all the time. Like, I just didn't want to do it anymore. Like, after like 3 or 4 houses of getting them to a point where I'm like comfortable and happy with the way they are or whatever, then I have to move for some reason or something, and I can't keep doing it. And the house is pretty nice, so it just was like, whatever, I'll live with this weird curtain. So I got to get those fixed for her. Now the curtains, obviously, whatever, the blinds, the curtains, those aren't like a big deal. It's not like people can see in, so those will come eventually. But I do want to get that done sooner rather than later, because it's pretty ghetto right now. And then, you know, of course, the shower, but the carpeting, number one, has got to be replaced. So I'm looking forward to having my baby there. And the funny thing is that when my ex told me, okay, we're going to move you upstairs, at first I was like, yeah, I'm going to move upstairs, because I'm pretty well committed to having this space down here. But then I thought, you know what? With the summer coming, and I'm still not really making a good enough money to feel comfortable. You know, I mean, not like I was making money to feel comfortable before I started this business. I'm making about what I was making from my part-time job that I had before. But at least with selling stuff on eBay and reselling in general, I have the opportunity to make even more, and I can build it from here, and I'm in a good place, and I can take a week off, and then $500 rolls in. You know what I mean? Like, which is nice. So it's just, that's where I'm at right now. And I'm sure that's going to change. It's just going to keep getting better. But I was just thinking, I mean, that's like $600 or $700 a month. Like, I could be making, you know, $1,400 or $1,500 a month net, rather than the $600 or $700. Well, no, I guess I pretty much make about $600 or $700 a month, I figured out. So, you know, for me to like live off of and utilize if I have to, and I typically only use like maybe $500 for my own personal use. But you know, if I needed that extra couple $100, maybe I could cut back on a little sourcing, because there's always a backlog of stuff to list. So anyways, so it wouldn't hurt me to like stop sourcing for a couple weeks. I usually have at least like a couple weeks worth of things to list. So that's where I'm at. I was gonna move in. I had just decided maybe I better just move home, and so I called my son, because I knew my daughter-in-law was coming back, and I had told them that she could move in with me if she wanted to, but she hadn't said yes or no. So I was calling them to say, hey, what do you want to do? Because I'm going to move my office into the master bedroom. And the first thing my son said when I called him is, Marissa decided she wanted to move in with you. Like, I didn't even have to ask. I'm like, well, I guess I'm moving upstairs down at the office. So hopefully I don't get kicked out of here. I can't imagine, because nobody wants those upstairs offices here. This is like kind of like a crappy. Oh, I mean, it's kind of nice. Like, it's kind of a good deal. Like, if you need an office space, I think it's a really good deal. But it's just for people that are picky or whatever, and they have to have things a certain way, they wouldn't like this building. Or if you don't want to be, where a bunch of homeless people are, like, there's a lot of homelessness around my area. But it's not, I don't know. Well, there's some days I wonder, like, do I really want to expose myself to this every day? Here's the problem with homelessness. I was going to talk about this and then I crossed it off. So, but I guess since I brought it up, maybe I should. This was going to be my, and now for something completely different topic. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to change it to something happy. But you know what, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the homelessness. One of the problems with homelessness or being around a lot of people that are homeless is you become anesthetized to it. And my ex says, you know what, there's help for these people and they don't want to get it. They have a choice. And they can't, but I don't think he really understands that a lot of these people they have mental disabilities. A lot of them, I think they're schizophrenic. If you know anything about schizophrenia, definitely look into it. I think a lot of homeless people are schizophrenic. And that's the problem with homelessness, is that you're dealing with people who aren't mentally capable. But certainly, yes, there are some people who are just, I don't want to have to go through the trouble of doing everything that I have to do to have a home, or whatever it is that most other people are always working toward, like having a roof over your head, your own roof over your head, or pitching in for rent with roommates, or whatever the case may be. There is that, and then of course you've got the people that have drug problems. And while the solution to the drug problem lies within the person with the drug problem, unfortunately it just does. There are serious, the drug problem is probably a little deeper than most people think it is. For example, there was confirmation about, and I know this has been out for a while, it's not like this is new news, but I don't think very many people are aware of it. In the LA area, the government, there was an independent investigative reporter who found real evidence that the U.S. government, the federal, from what I understand, federals, but maybe they were working with state or locals, I don't know, representatives. And I don't know if this is like, it's not like this widespread accepted agenda, but is what factions of people in power in our government do. This is just an example of what they do to fuck with people. And they were basically feeding cocaine and maybe some other drugs, or some drugs, whatever, I think it was in the 80s, feeding drugs into the black communities in LA. And I can only imagine that that's been, and I had heard through the grapevine that they were doing this in New York as well, but I don't know if they've ever uncovered any evidence to prove such. But they were targeting children. So I'm just saying that it's easy to look at a person with a drug problem and judge them. But when you understand how drugs work with your biology, and then you think about people in power doing that to people because they know what's going to happen, it just, it just makes you think. And you know, unfortunately, it all comes down to the individual has to make a decision. So it makes me sad that people in power would do that to people. Like, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's why I am a big proponent of never trusting anybody that's in power. Like, if somebody's in power, they're probably lying and doing something terrible. Like, all these people running for president, they've all got to be the most evil people on the planet. When Donald Trump started running for president, I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. He's one of them. And he tries to come off like he's not one of them. I'm sure there were plenty of people who thought he was one of them before, but I'm just glad I had one of those Trump games and was able to sell it for more than I could before he was running for president. But yeah, I don't take any of that stuff too seriously. Anything those people say, it's all rhetoric. Okay, so that is that. Okay, we are at 40 minutes. So that was my and something completely different. Homelessness. Oh, think inside the box. Okay, this is my shipping tip of the day. If you have a Costco near you, do not discount these boxes. These kind of boxes that are sort of like open. I mean, you would think that these are useless. I mean, maybe if you have certain things like, I don't know, posters or something that you could put in here and use it to store or something. But I don't know if you can really see it. This is for, what is this one? These are like typically found in the laundry detergent area, and see they're kind of narrow. There's some other ones that are more narrow than these. But I like to use these inside like, instead of double boxing, you can use these to surround like a VCR DVD player or some other kind of a component like that. Or like, even if you just had a small one, you could sort of use this as a double box. And you could just put like another piece of cardboard here if you really wanted the full-on double box effect. But at least it gives you like a real nice structure around the item, especially on these corners. And then you could, like, if it's relatively large, you could take like a second one, and you would put the second one like this, and you can connect the item inside there, and then it's almost like a double box without totally double boxing. And then, you know, you could bubble wrap the item and then stick it inside of here, or you could still surround it with the styrofoams, which I usually use. But actually, I like these ultra clean boxes are kind of thick. So if you have like a VCR DVD player and you wrap it in bubble wrap first, then it should fit in here pretty nice, and then you can slip it inside another box and surround that with the styrofoams, like the popcorn. Now, when I used to work at the UPS store, and the way we would package things is we would always wrap it in a plastic, and then we would wrap it in bubble wrap, and then we would put it in a box with minimum 2 inches of space on any one side of the between the item and the box of popcorn. So we would do bubble wrap and popcorn. And this is how UPS expects breakable things to be packaged in order for them to justify paying for them if they get broken. Now, one of the other things that could prevent you from collecting on your insurance is if you're using an old box. So if you have like a box that's totally been weakened because it's been whatever, you can tell, like a really old box. Don't use super duper old boxes for anything fragile. They would probably still cover you even if you used a used box or one that wasn't necessarily made for shipping. But if the box looked like it had some sort of structural integrity at the time that you shipped it, and of course you want to get, if it's fragile too, they might look at how weak the box is, you know, like compare a cereal box to, well, one of these boxes. These are really heavy duty. This is like heavy dutier cardboard than like those priority mailboxes. Let me see. Yeah, those are like really strong. What are the, I don't know, what do you call this? I need to look into it. Anyways, so that's my tip of the day basically, is to use those. Don't be afraid to use those as protective sort of semi double box situations for stereo things. Yeah, and those are the boxes, again, boxes from the laundry detergent area is where you typically find the good ones for that purpose. Architect talk. Okay, well, there was something about my camera, and I don't have it. I figured out a good way. Okay, let's talk about white balance. When you're taking pictures, if you have, like I have, a white background, like one of those, it's like, it's not a piece, like a vinyl on a roll, and then I have it like on this rack thing, and then you can just sort of drape it over a table and hang it down, and it just kind of gives a nice white back without like sharp edges to pretty much anything. You can put something in front of it, put something on the table, whatever, it just gives it a nice smooth look. And then again, if you ever need to just have like that nice clean crisp white background, like if you're taking a picture for something for Amazon or something, you know, you want to have that scenario in place. But for the most part, it's not really necessary to have that vinyl backdrop, and actually it's better to probably have it in a gray. And if I were to do it again, if I were to have ordered a backdrop again, I would have just ordered the gray, because it's not like I am doing a lot with Amazon. I'm not creating products and having to take pictures. I'm not creating listings on Amazon. So that's one of my architect talk tips for photography, is to get a gray background. Like if you're going to get one of those vinyl sheets, and I do believe they make them in gray. I haven't looked because I'm just going to keep using my white one because I don't want to spend money on a new gray one. But it messes with the color of the item if you have white as the background. And that's why there's a lot of cameras, you might find something that says white balance and you can adjust it. Well, on my Galaxy Samsung, there's something called like snow or winter. There's some kind of setting. And I'm like, let me try that. Maybe that'll work for white balance. And it does make a difference, because certain colors, like especially like greens, like especially like a sage green, like anything that's like a sage green kind of color, or army green, it just doesn't, the color just doesn't look true to the real color in the picture. And it's because of that white light. I don't know, it does something. I'm sure you could get more techie about it, but as you know, Architect Talk is not very techie. This is more like layman's. All we know is that white backgrounds are actually bad. So yeah, if you have a Galaxy Samsung camera of some sort, or a Galaxy phone, and you are taking pictures on like some kind of a white background, or you just definitely check out that winter. I should have had it ready. Check out the winter thing. Let me see if it's on my phone. The winter setting. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay, camera. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that my Galaxy phone is like, the camera functions like the same way as, how do I get that? But I don't remember how to do it. Oh, here we go, mode. There we go, auto. Yeah, it is. It's like almost the same. What is that thing called? Maybe they don't have it on the phone. They don't have it. Okay, well, they don't have it on the actual phone, at least on my Galaxy 4 phone. Sports night, auto, beauty face, best photo. Okay, it's winter something. See, like if you have a Galaxy phone, for those of you that don't know, there's all these like settings to where it helps you. Like, what is this one? Rich tone, drama, and they just do different things. Here's one for night, which, there we go, night. I don't know what to do, anyways. Okay, so there is, that would help you with the white, the white. One other thing I wanted to talk about was Mercari versus Poshmark. So last week I finally got around to listing some stuff on Poshmark, and I listed some stuff on Mercari. Mercari is way better. Now, apparently Poshmark has more people on it, but I think it's bunk. I think Poshmark is a joke. I think they're going to be like the MySpace of selling platforms. It's a joke. I don't know. I mean, if you look, the stuff that's probably selling on Poshmark, and maybe I'm speaking too quickly, okay, but the stuff that's probably selling on Poshmark is like the stuff that's like the Michael Kors leather bag, you know. Put it on eBay, you're going to sell it on eBay too, and they take 20%. So if you have a Michael Kors, like let's say you personally own a Michael Kors bag, you're like, I'm gonna get a new one this year, but I can probably sell my old one for $125. So I'm gonna list it on Poshmark and give them 20%. So you're gonna give them whatever that is, $25 or something. You're gonna give eBay you're gonna give Mercari $25 to sell your Michael Kors bag. But you know, but you could give, in eBay would only be like half of that. Like, it's stupid. And you could sell it just as easily on eBay. It's not like you go over to this platform and there's all these people that want to buy Michael Kors and nobody on eBay wants to buy Michael Kors. I mean, come on. So first of all, anything that's selling on Poshmark is probably selling just as easily on eBay. Now, that's not to say that if you have some BCBG sweater or Nike shirt like the one I was talking about earlier and nobody was interested in it on eBay because there's a million other people selling those brands on eBay, that you can't move them over to Poshmark and maybe somebody on Poshmark will want to buy, you know, those things, but they might not find you on eBay. I mean, that's a possibility. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't look like it. And then the other thing I didn't like about Poshmark is you can't really edit the photos. You can only like add like a tint. You can't crop the photos. You can't turn the photos. And then what was the other thing? And then as soon as you become a new shop seller, you're going to have all these people following you. You're like, wow, this is like active. Then no, because they give incentives for people to follow you and share your stuff, but it's all in vain. It's fake. It's like, it's not like organic sharing, like me, like sometimes just for fun, I'll be like, oh, look at this cute room decor idea. I'm gonna put this on my room decor Pinterest page because I think it's authentically cute. So I share that link to some room decor website for their kitchen design, and it lands on my Pinterest, and I ultimately help them get, you know, 100 more page views over the course of the next year because I posted it on Pinterest or shared it on Facebook because I truly authentically thought it was interesting, and people truly thought it was interesting too, so they went there, you know, like I mean, it's fake because they give people some kind of, and I can't remember what it is, but they give the sellers on there some sort of bonus for following new sellers and sharing new sellers. And the idea is to, you know, keep things moving and keep things active, but it's all fake. So you're constantly, every day, I've got like 5 new people are following you, and then 2 hours later 6 new people are following me. I've got like 300 followers of people that will probably never ever buy anything for me, or will never ever do anything to truly help me sell stuff. It's just, it's wasted data. Like, I don't even know. I mean, is that even using up data in my phone? I don't know how it works. I'm not very tech savvy. But I am not impressed with Poshmark at all. And I do not like the 20% that they want to take. And I can't remember, I think it was $2.95 if it's under 15. They take $2.95 if it's under $15, which is a lot. eBay doesn't take that much. And then you have to ship everything priority, so your buyer ultimately has to pay priority prices. And then what they do is, like, people will go in and they'll bundle stuff, and I guess that would be, there is some sort of encouragement for bundling, you know, and that looks pretty common, that people will make bundles for people, and so then you'll get like people shopping your store and they'll buy like 5 things and then you bundle it together. But it's freaking complicated. Like, and I don't want to have to play those social media games to make sales. Like, that's just stupid. We have enough work to do. You know, our job is to get the stuff and fulfill it and manage the stuff. And, you know, eBay's job is to bring us customers. You know, that's what we're paying eBay for. Like, on Mercari, you're not, or not Mercari, on Poshmark, I don't even know. I don't know why people sell on there. I think it's stupid. If you're doing really great on Poshmark, or you find that you've listed stuff on eBay but you can sell it on Poshmark, that's fine, but I don't want to play that game. And frankly, I think that Poshmark is going to go downhill, especially with Mercari coming. Mercari, I listed stuff on Mercari and I've already sold something. I haven't sold anything on Poshmark. But I did sell a fossil handbag on Mercari. I listed 5 things, and I sold a fossil handbag. And now, I think if I run the numbers, it's really close or equivalent to the amount of money it costs the same, basically. So, like, for example, if you have something that weighs over half of a pound, which is 8 ounces, then the shipping is a flat $6. If you have something that is 8 ounces or smaller, the shipping is a flat $4. Now, you don't have to do that shipping, because my daughter-in-law does Mercari, and she'll just go to the counter and pay for stuff, or she'll do click and ship or something. But I don't know what she does. I haven't really gotten into it, but she says I don't do it that way because I'm like, well, I don't want to have to do all that. Like, I want to do it the easy way. So that's fine, and that's probably how Mercari is making money, because it's $4 to ship something that would cost $2.60 on eBay. And so I would imagine that Mercari is probably getting like a $2.60 deal from the post office, so they're making $1.40 every time something sells that's 8 ounces. And then I don't know how the priority deal, I mean, they're probably making $1 every time something goes with the $6. They sent me a priority label. But yeah, so it cost my buyer $6 because it was, you know, well, my fossil purse was well over 8 ounces. And I think it was like 1 pound, 8 ounces. It was like a pound and a half. So that cost my buyer $6. So I put it up for $19 with free shipping, basically. And so now I'm going to get $13 because they don't charge any fees. Now, the thing I like about Mercari is it's just clean and simple. I like that. I'm like, this is just kind of clean and simple. And you can edit your photos. And you don't have all these fake people that really don't care about your shit. They're not following you. Like, you don't get like all these stupid messages. Like, all that stuff. I think, you know what, maybe 5-10 years ago, or whatever, 7 years ago, I don't know how long it's been, especially when Facebook really got going and people were just on this, like, let's use social media to promote shit bandwagon. Like, it was probably really great back then because people were probably, there's more people using it authentically. But now you can't just fake that anymore. So anyways, I like Mercari. I think it's worth checking out. But I did run some numbers and I determined that it's still cheaper, or it's a wash, just kind of depends. Mercari is comparable or it's a wash to eBay. Now, another one thing I definitely don't like about Mercari is that you don't get the money immediately and you have to wait until the buyer confirms that they received the item. And they only have a short window of time to do that. And then if they don't, there is something that you can do, but that's a pain in the ass. I don't want to have to go, well, my buyer never, so, I have to contact them and do something. Like, I don't. So, and I don't like the fact that you have to wait for your money. Unlike eBay where you get your money immediately. But at the same time, if I can make sales on it, I'll deal with it. So I'm going to give Mercari a try. I'm definitely not doing Poshmark. In fact, I don't know what, I want to delete. I don't want to get all these messages. Like, it's just stupid. I'm not happy with Poshmark at all, but definitely Mercari. And I actually predicted in another video that Mercari could be the new up-and-coming competition for eBay. But eBay is still better on many, many levels. So I think they are going to be top dog for a long time when it comes to selling platforms. I mean, I know there's Amazon, but Amazon and eBay have two totally different flavors, and so that's fine. Let's just say eBay and Amazon are going to remain top dogs for quite some time. But Mercari is the one that I've identified that I think really has, they're sort of like coming up from behind. So what else did I want to talk about? Okay, we're a little over an hour now. And let's do the home run report. I actually got this some time ago, and I just have been holding on to it because I want to send it into Amazon. And I've been waiting to get more stuff so I can send in a big thing. But now I'm like, I just got to do it, especially with me moving. I'm like, I got to do this week. And I've got 10 or 15 things that need to go to Amazon. But I got this exit sign for $4 at a thrift store. Savers. I love Savers. And these apparently are going for about $70 on Amazon. So I thought this way, and everything's there, and it's good. And it's the Glow Bright Eco Exit sign, and it's like a solar power kind of light, and it'll stay lit for a long time, like if the lights go out. I don't know, or it takes batteries or something. Anyways, it works. I checked it out, and everything is there. And it's new and unused. So, I mean, I guess I'll probably call it used like new for Amazon. But yeah, so that was my home run. $4. Going to turn it into whatever. Going to sell it for about $70. It looks like on Amazon, hopefully. So that will be a home run for me. That is a home run. I don't find stuff like that all the time. So definitely look for exit signs, because you know what, the thing with those, I'm way over now, 3 minutes. The thing with exit signs is people need to have them for, if they're putting a retail store in somewhere or some kind of office somewhere, they have to have it per city requirements. Like, you have to have an exit sign. So people, they're just like, oh, I gotta go get an exit sign now because they won't be able to do business. They won't get their tenant improvement approved or whatever. Okay, so that was my home run. I did want to talk about a little bit more about what's going on with my son and having him help me. But since I'm over time, I'll save that for another. And then I did also want to talk about, did anybody watch the, and now for something, no. What was it called last time? Not Monty Python, but John Cleese's How to Irritate People. I was listening to that while I was taking photos, and I, would sort of glance over every now and then. And it is one that you have to watch. It's sort of like the Carol Burnett show or Saturday Night Live, where they just have all these skits and they just do something funny. And yeah, it is really annoying. The stuff these people do is annoying, and it's funny because there's people like that, and it was pretty funny. The best part is actually John Cleese in between the funny skits. But yeah, no, it was pretty funny. I really enjoyed it. So if you still haven't watched the How to Irritate People with John Cleese, I don't think it's technically Monty Python, but there's a bunch of Monty Python people in How to Irritate People, which was just sort of like some like special show that they played like in Great Britain. It wasn't like a long running show, or like a, well, not like a weekly show. It was just a special show, I think. Anyways, so yeah, definitely check that out. And so that's gonna wrap it up for this episode number 3 of Reseller Shop Talk. Thanks for joining in, and please feel free to leave a link to your videos, to your channel, as long as your videos have something to do with reselling, selling on eBay, selling on Amazon, whatever, that real content, not like some, I don't know, sometimes you go to videos and it's like, I don't know, it's not even, I'm like, seriously? Okay, I'm gonna stop now. But yeah, if you have real videos, you're a real person making real videos, trying to reach out to people, and you're talking about reselling, definitely leave a video below. I will definitely watch, and hopefully other people will too eventually. Or sooner rather than later. All right, thanks. Bye.